Welcome to the second tutorial on Clo3D Fast Learn course. I am Nancy and I will be your coordinator throughout this course. Before we start, this is not one of those tutorials where they talk about pattern and technical garment making skills for hours. This series of tutorials focuses on learning the basics of Clo3D as fast as possible, while maintaining an online portfolio of all the works you do. If you have not watched the part 1, where I teach you the fundamentals, go watch it. Make sure you like and subscribe for future tutorials. On this episode, you will learn the following: loading up existing pattern blocks, segment stitching, free stitching and MN stitching, and rendering materials. Start Clo3D and load an avatar of your choice. Select garment and go backwards once. Go to blocks, then woman. Jacket, then select double-breasted peak jacket. This will load up the front panel of the jacket. Double-click the body double vent. This will load the back panel. Now let's load the sleeves. I am loading sleeves stacked. Now we have all the patterns for the jacket. Select both sleeves and hide them using Shift+Q. Next, select all the components of the back panel and slightly move it away from the body. We are doing this to see how our stitching is done. When selecting the front panel, choose the collar separately. You can see the color is already stitched. Now select the segment stitching tool. Select the shoulder from front panel to back panel. Make sure you do not mess up the directions of the stitch. The stitch lines should always be straight. When stitching the sides, you see it is not a complete line. The line is split, so we use the free stitching tool to stitch multiple lines at once. You can see which panel you are stitching by hovering over the pattern and the 3D window, then using the 2D window to complete the stitch. Make sure you follow the stitch direction correctly. Now we have completed the body stitch. Now let's bring back the sleeves by selecting both and Shift+Q. Move the sleeves slightly away for better view. You can see the sleeve shoulder attachment goes through multiple uneven attachments. We use MN stitching tool to stitch something like that. The idea is first we select a length of something, as M, then selecting the length that needs to be stitched to M, in this case N. M and N are not always equal. Hold the free stitching tool to get MN stitch tool. First, let's select M length, which is the shoulder length. After selecting, press Enter. Now let's select the N length, which is the armhole of the front and back panels. Make sure you select the correct armhole in the correct direction. After selecting the end distance, press Enter. Now you see the stitches are done. If you did it right, the stitches will look straight. Repeat the same to the other sleeve as well. Make sure to follow the distance right. Once completed, click Simulate. Now you have made a double-breasted jacket while learning all the stitching tools available. Change the avatar pose to a hands-down pose. Let's make the whole jacket fabric wool. Now the following trick will make your work better than most of the people who use Clo3D, adding a lining. Duplicate the fabric and set the physics of the fabric to any silk. Double-click to rename the fabric. Select all patterns, right-click, then layer clone under. Simulate. Have patience because things get heavy when adding a lining. This will turn the jacket to a well-tailored, good quality jacket. Select all the patterns and turn on curved side geometry. Set the value to 100. This will smoothen the edges. You can also do a physically accurate simulation, but not a must. It will factor in the weight of the fabric. Change the color and set the inside layer to the lining fabric. You see there is a black line here. It is because the lining is not stitched like it would in real life. Let's fix it. Change the stitching so that the back panel of the lining is stitched together, like I am showing here. You can do the same to the collar and sleeves as well. Follow the stitching carefully. Simply said, make sure the lining is stitched similar to the jacket, and then attach to the jacket only from the edges. This step is not necessary, but it will make your work high quality. Follow the stitching carefully. Select all the edge stitches with the stitch selecting tool and switch the stitch type to turned. Do this for all the edges of the garment. Remember only the edges like sleeve edge, jacket edge and collars. Now the construction is over. You can render the jacket as is, but let's make the jacket to be a more premium by adding a fur preset. Select your main fabric and under material select fur. Then under the fur preset, select terry cloth. Remember, the fur is only visible under the render view. Now you see the jacket looks premium. Change the fur length to 1. If the buttons are getting lost into the fur, move them forward a bit. Now you have successfully learned all about stitching and an additional tip on how to make your creations look and feel premium. For Instagram, render the jacket with 1080 into 1080 resolution. Now you have learned all the fundamental skills you need to move on to the animation section. In the next tutorial, we will be making a puffer jacket outfit, so we can animate it in the next tutorial. Like this video and share with your friends, co-workers or anyone who wants to learn Clo3D. Subscribe the channel, and thank you for watching. See you soon on the next video.